So I thought I would do a video. Don't know if it's going to be more than one part. Don't know if it's going to be really long. So it is in regards to my previous posts on Instagram of my breast uplift with implants that I had with Dr. Funder through booking surgery. Sometimes messages can be misperceived or come across the wrong way. So I thought if I verbally address the situation, then people can understand and know where I'm coming from and the reasons why I didn't say anything, blah blah blah. 2023, I had my gastric sleeve through booking surgery, and I had Dr. Servet Cargill, if that's how you pronounce it. He did my gastric sleeve, absolutely no problem. I've always tagged him, had no issues. Booking surgery have never pinpointed that this was a problem, because at the end of the day, he gave me the tool that helped transform my life and to the point where I am now. Bear with me because I don't want to miss anything out. I don't want to talk too fast. I don't want to get carried away and then get sidetracked, because that happens a lot. I lost over 12 stone with the help of the gastric sleeve, and then January 2025 I went and had a 360 FDL tummy tuck and an arm lift with Dr. Yalcin. Again through the same company with booking surgery. I loved my results. I couldn't fault it. Yalcin came in every single day and checked on me. I can't fault it. Even my gastric sleeve, like, the hospital was clean, and when I had my 360 FDL tummy tuck, etc., that was in a different hospital, also very, very clean, no problems at all. Like, I can't fault my treatment. I can't lie, I can't fabricate. My treatment was fantastic, and I could shout out booking surgery, I could shout out the surgeons, no problem. I had issues when I had my 360 FDL tummy tuck. So the issues were medication. They got confused in regards to my cocodamol. I had my cocodamol for my knee injury that I sustained in 2024. They wouldn't allow me to have it. They then decided to try and give me 2 paracetamol and my cocodamol together. I was like, no, you can't do that. But the help of Yalcin, without him and contacting him, I wouldn't have been able to have my medication that I needed when I was in hospital. That's the only issue I had, but that was due to medication at different rules and laws and regulations in Turkey compared to here in the UK, and translation, blah blah blah. I had no bad over treatment, anything I needed. I messaged Yalcin and he responded. I had no faults. After my 360 FDL tummy tuck, I was sponsored by Booking Surgery to enter the bariatric pageant. They paid a fee for me to enter. However, I paid for all my clothes, my hotel stay, everything was paid for, just they paid the sponsor fee of me attending and being put into it. 4 months after having my 360 FDL tummy tuck, even though I struggled mentally to begin with because of how much my body had changed, I then booked my thigh lift, which was meant to be an inner thigh lift and outer thigh lift with liposuction and a breast uplift with implants with Dr. Yalcin. This was due to happen January 2026 with Dr. Yalcin through booking surgery. And initially I was paying for all this. However, I was approached by the owner to say, how about we come up with a deal? We'll fund the surgery if you could just do a lot of content, taggers, pretty much what I was already doing. I mean, I already had, and they have told me, I had well over 100 people booking surgery through the recommendation, either using my name, mentioning my name, and they'd booked through with booking surgery. So there'd been so many people that have had different procedures, whether it was plastics, bariatric, teeth, anything, that had gone through the recommendations of myself. Alongside this, I did have a lot of public media with magazines, newspapers, and I did do a Channel 4 documentary that is a 2-part before and after, and then a 3rd part for after my transformation, after my plastics completely, to then look back at when I started to how I am now. This is still to happen and be recorded and then put together in a documentary. Of course I accepted this offer. For someone that has been with the same company, I'm not being funny, loads of people would accept free surgery if they had trusted the company, been recommended, been with the company before, had their own experiences, which is why Initially, I was offered my 360 FDL and my arm lift complimentary, but I actually turned it down. I wanted to pay for it because I didn't want to have something for free that I had no experience on to advertise, because I didn't know what was coming, what was happening, and I was absolutely fucking shitting myself. So yes, I did pay for my 360 FDL tummy tuck and my arm lift and my flights and all the insurance, everything I paid for my first round of plastics. They offered to pay me a commission in regards to how many people went, then I'll get X, Y amount or whatever. But I didn't want to be paid money. I literally just said, if you want me to do the collaboration, I'll do it on my next round of plastics if I have them, because I was still and ahhing whether I had any more surgery after my tummy tuck and my arm lift. I was happy, I was excited. I already spoke to Yalcin January 2025 in regards to my thighs, because my thighs have always been my biggest issue. I didn't have a diagnosis in regards to any medical conditions until November last year, which is November 2025. I then got diagnosed, I don't know if it was November or September last year, but around the same time I also got diagnosed with ADHD as well as lipedema, which is a medical condition in legs that can affect your arms. It's the fatty cells of the lymphatic draining systems, not lymphedema, lipedema. So lipedema is more fatty, lymphedema is the fluid and liquids. And I went to a specialist, got measured, had my legs all checked in a machine. I'm at stage 1 to 2, they're not severe. Yalcin already knew my body from doing my surgeries before, and I was quite happy with having him. However, there is a big conflict between booking surgery and Dr. Yalcin. So because Dr. Yalcin was becoming very popular, and he wanted to venture off, leave booking surgery and create his own business, his own brand, and go solo, which most surgeons should do, and people should cheer on these surgeons. I knew about this before booking surgery was fully aware. I was approached and I was spoken to by Yalcin that he's thinking of doing solo practice, and then I was also told by booking surgery that they were choosing to sack him and that they needed to have meetings because of things he'd done that wasn't respected or wasn't allowed to be done by surgeons. Told me that he'd been doing more patients within one day than what was legally required, and then he was doing other patients privately in a different hospital that wasn't with booking surgery and he wasn't under contract for. So there's me being told one thing, being told another, and I'm in two minds thinking, what the fuck's going on? I just want my surgery. I want Dr. Yalcin, and I kept persisting, and I kept being told, we're in talks, we're having discussions, etc., etc. There was nothing that said he wasn't going to perform. He was due to leave May, June, July 2026 is when he was meant to officially end. So it would have been after my surgery was planned, which was January 2026. However, if Dr. Yalcin left, and I was advertising him because I was still tagging him, as well as Dr. Zavet, who did my sleeve, I was still tagging him. If he left 4 months after my surgery or whatever, I'll be tagging a surgeon that no longer works at booking surgery. There you go. People won't be going to booking surgery, they'll be going to Dr. Yalcin privately. This I understand. And I know my surgery wasn't free. The surgeon still had to be paid by booking surgery. I do understand that. I was messed about for months, not knowing. I think it was from August up until October, of not knowing whether I was having Yalcin or not, or what I was doing. So I was going through a lot of stress, anxiety, panic, because I just thought, what do I do? This is what mentally affects me, because I asked family, I even asked bigger influencers what they would do in my situation. At the end of the day, it was free surgery. Come October, I was told by Yalcin that he's left, he's just gone, he just can't work with booking surgery. They're bad-mouthing him, and Yalcin was very, very, very understanding of the situation that I was in. He was happy